Greetings. Let us talk about patient intake and discharge. What happens to the patient when they come in for endoscopy? So, here are a group of patients who have been scheduled for endoscopy. They have checked into the reception area, and once they check into the reception area, the reception personnel will ask them screening questions about exposure to COVID and screening questions about COVID symptoms. Because we are in the midst of COVID pandemic, and I'm recording this in January 2022, all patients undergoing endoscopy are required to undergo a COVID test 48 to 72 hours before the scheduled procedure. Once the test is negative, they are allowed to come into the hospital. So after going through the screening questions, if there is no exposure to COVID and if they don't have symptoms of COVID, they're also identified by their name, date of birth, and medical record number. The reception personnel will also confirm the availability of an escort personnel who will take the patient home safely. This is especially important. Patients are not allowed to drive home. If they do not have an escort, procedure will not be done. After completing this, the reception personnel will inform the charge nurse, and one of the nurses will come in and take the patient into the endoscopy intake area, where the patient will be identified again by their name, date of birth, and medical record number. And using a no-touch technique, temperature will be recorded, height will be recorded, weight will be recorded. Then they will be escorted to the pre-op area and they will be instructed to remove all clothes, remove all jewelry, and change into a gown. And once the patient is ready and has changed into the gown after removing all the clothes and jewelry, the intake nurse will come, and if the nurse is different, the nurse will again confirm the patient identifier by the wristband. The wristband will contain the patient's details, name, medical record number, date of birth, etc. And this wristband is usually placed when the patient checks in the reception area. So patient identification is really critical in order to avoid performing endoscopy on a wrong patient. The nurse will also review the patient's history, medications, allergies, etc., and then insert an intravenous line for giving medications to put the patient to sleep by the anesthesiologist. The nurse will also hook up the monitor and record the vitals. Here is a patient whose vitals are stable, and if once the vitals are stable, if the patient is diabetic, the nurse will also check the blood sugar value. If the patient has certain problems that anesthesiologist is worried, they may draw the blood for checking the electrolytes, etc. Sometimes the anesthesiologist may request an electrocardiogram as well. Subsequently, then the endoscopist and anesthesiologist will come in. They sign into the computer and review the record, review the indication for the procedure, and obtain consent from the patient. At this stage, the endoscopist will review the game plan for the procedure. Why are they doing the procedure? What are they expecting? What will be undertaken? And what are the likely risks and how can they be mitigated? After the endoscopist sees the patient, the anesthesiologist comes in, and anesthesiologist will also obtain consent after explaining what the plan is in terms of putting the patient to sleep, whether it will be anesthesia with or without a breathing tube. After this, the room nurse, who has already set up the procedure with the assistance of an endoscopy technician, will come in, confirm the patient's, again, a name, date of birth, medical record number, and transport the patient to the room. So once the patient is in the room, again we do the patient identification by name, medical record number, and date of birth before the procedure is before we start the procedure. Here is an endoscopy on this elderly gentleman who had iron deficiency anemia and blood in the stool on testing, and unfortunately this gentleman has colon cancer. I want to stress the importance of obtaining colon cancer screening for anyone above the age of 45, unless their family history dictates that they should be screened earlier. This is a preventable cancer, and overall colonoscopy is very safe. After the procedure, the patient is taken back to the recovery room by the room nurse and the anesthesia team. And once the patient is awake, the endoscopist comes in, reviews the patient's findings, shows the pictures that he wants to show to explain the findings, and comes up with a plan for management. Depending upon the type of the endoscopy unit, sometimes the endoscopist comes in and does this. Sometimes the nurse explains and requests the patient to see the endoscopist in his office. After 30 minutes of observation, making sure the vitals are stable, the nurse will come and provide discharge instructions to the patient as well as to the escort or the family member who is going to escort the patient home regarding the diet, regarding the activities that can be undertaken, and regarding the resumption of medications, including blood thinners if the patient were to be on blood thinners. He will be given instructions about when to call if there were to be a problem and which number to call so as to get in touch with the physician. So a written discharge instruction will be provided that has all the details that we talked about. As you can see here, from A to Z, from checking into the reception to the discharge, there are lots of steps. And endoscopy unit is a very busy operation. Some patients may take much longer than others. And as endoscopists, the endoscopy team gives their best shot to take care of the patient needs irrespective of the time that is allotted. That may mean that some patients who are scheduled later in the day may have to wait. And it's important to provide the best care and for the patients to appreciate that the delays in starting the procedure are because somebody else is being taken care of well. I hope this is useful. Thank you.